Thank you. Let's begin. So we'll begin in a seated position that helps us feel tall, alert. We know that any of our work today is being supported by a whole body of practitioners, a community of practitioners. Taking these moments to feel breath in the foreground of our felt experience. Right? Getting our breath vast, that its prominence is unmissable, right? Attune to the space of your body, the head. And just notice, whatever your experience is, the quality of breath as you breathe in and from the center of your head. If you're a very visual person, if you can imagine the brain halves, we're situated right in the middle of those halves. There's even a little pocket where all that brain fluid washes through. And just note what that experience is like when we're situated and inhabiting the center of our head. And let's lower down into the chest. So including the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Now when we relocate into the center of the chest, again, just noticing your experience, just feeling what you feel. There's no wrong answer. This may feel a bit different than breathing in the head. These areas of our body carry different flavors of consciousness. Our breath may feel differently in these different locations. I'm going to do 2 more areas. I'm going to slide down just a bit further. We'll use this top of the gut, the solar plexus, so really just beneath the heart. We're going to slide a little bit back and forth between the gut and the heart. First, let's situate right in the solar plexus. So in the front where my ribs kind of triangle up to the sternum, I'm in that little pocket, the Heimlich area. So you're breathing in the solar plexus. We're going to backtrack just a step. Just intentionally, with your breath, with your feeling, you shift back into the heart. Feeling the heart. And then as we shift back into the solar plexus, just noting if that movement feels continuous. So breathing, moving back into the solar plexus. Or if it feels like there's a little partition to traverse as you move from heart to solar plexus. And the pelvis. And take the pelvis generally. Take these areas very generally today. Now let's change the cross of our legs. I'm going into knee pile, right over left. You can choose a knee pile variation. Inhaling, let's reach arms out to the side. And with our feet active, exhaling, let's hook left elbow over right, linking the hands. So these first couple of breaths, can you breathe into or from the pelvis and the solar plexus simultaneously? And in these last 2 breaths here, What does that feel like breathing into the solar plexus and the heart simultaneously? Yeah, when we inhale and when we unwind the arms, we'll stand the right foot to the ground for a seated spinal twist. You can make it gentler by simply hooking the left crook of your elbow around the shin. Or you can move more deeply by hooking the left elbow over the thigh. Inhaling, lifting the back of the heart way from the back of the solar plexus, and then exhaling as we soften internally, feel the viscera, the gut, and the abdominal sheaths of connectivity, slipping and relaxing and sliding. We can get really soft in that gut area. And release. Inhaling, let's unwind. From the twist, let's unwind the legs. In those two poses, other side, we'll start with a knee pile, left over right. And moving into eagle, we're hooking the right elbow over the left this time. Right over left. On this side, let's explore for a moment. In these next two breaths, what does that feel like to breathe into the head and the heart simultaneously? So when I'm attuning kind of into that space of the head, I find that I can attune, like taste, that the flavor of consciousness there is intelligence. And the quality of the heart, there's a quality of love. They're distinctly different flavors, if you will, shades. And so when we breathe into the head and the heart simultaneously, you can feel how that quality of intelligence informs and enriches that quality of love. And when we unwind the arms, we'll stand our left foot, working the seated spinal twist. So gentler elbow hook, less, if you just want to get in there and twist, you can go elbow over thigh. But we're twisting to our left. And when I attune to the solar plexus area of the body, the flavor of consciousness there is power. And if power has a little bit of a residue, like a little residue of connotation that you don't particularly like, you might think of like the power of a waterfall, just this intrinsic natural force of being exactly what it is, right? Just wow, this kind of awesome natural force. That's when you breathe into the heart, you can attune. You can feel that quality of love. And when you feel into that solar plexus, you can feel that quality of power. And breathing into heart and gut, heart and solar plexus together, you feel how that power enriches the heart, the love. And release. Inhaling, unwind. So whole body. We don't want to leave any of this great stuff out of the picture. Let's lie on back. The pelvis, when we attune to that space in the pelvis, to me, this is like that, where you really feel the material, the physicality of the body. So with our feet off the ground, we'll inhale the supported head and shoulders up off the ground. And curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches out. We're mostly just kind of engaging all those muscles and getting everything kind of warmed up around the knee and the calf and the Achilles, just moving all that ligament and muscle structure. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend that left knee. Curling tailbone, exhale, right leg reaches out. So again, I'm just kind of working all those tissues, just kind of unbunching them, squeezing them, expressing them, lengthening them, spreading them, pull low belly down. Inhale, we'll bend the right knee. Let's do 4 more on each side. Let's do those on our own. That's because you're so familiar with these. And when you are through, grab the roll, place it between legs, and we'll reach the legs skyward. So I'm articulating the foot. I'm just creating all sorts of space and motion and kind of fanning and spreading through all the bones and the tissues of the foot. Inhaling into the low back. I'm holding that just for a moment as you squeeze. Squeezing now. I light up those inner legs, curl tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Maintaining the squeeze. And keep stretching those legs and tissues, bones toward the sky. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhaling, we'll set the head down, relaxing some of that squeeze effort. Only to reapply it. Squeeze the roll again. Locate the tip of your tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Maintaining the squeeze, pull low belly down. Inhaling, head to ground. Now keep attuning, feeling the pelvis, the space of the pelvis. Even as you apply squeeze, keep feeling the pelvis, the bones. Find the tip of the tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Increase the squeeze if you would be willing. Pull low belly down. All right, inhale, set the head down, and exhale. And do a slight variant. This time, inhale the head and the shoulders up. So inhale is lifting, squeeze the roll. Exhaling, curl tailbone. Reach elbows toward your left thigh. Not to touch it, but really just to create a slight turn in the upper body. Pull low belly down. Inhaling, come back centrally. Keep the shoulder blades up. Reach the elbows to sky. Squeeze the roll. Exhaling, as you curl the tailbone, reach the elbows toward the right thigh. And just that slight little shift may help you register through the solar plexus, feeling the solar plexus. Draw low belly down. We'll do one more on each side. Inhale, come back to center. Elbows reach up. The front of that solar plexus is probably working. Squeeze. Curling tailbone. Exhale. Reach elbows toward left thigh. Increase the squeeze. Curl tailbone a second time for the fun of it. Pull low belly down. And inhale, come back centrally, letting up some squeeze. Elbows reach up. Apply the squeeze. Curling tailbone. Exhale, reach elbows toward right thigh. Increase the squeeze. Curling tailbone, pull low belly down. Inhaling, come back to center, set the head down. Exhaling, set the feet down. Let's remove the roll, and you can set your feet however you like on the ground, but we're going to take a couple deep breaths into the hips, legs, pelvis, abdomen. And again, as you're breathing into the pelvis and the abdomen, Can you breathe in them simultaneously, or does it feel like there's a little skip or a partition or a... Is there a connection? Is there a communication between the pelvis and the solar plexus? This connection to me is that rubber meets the road, right? Power and physicality, right? It's that ability to enact, make something show up on Earth. We're setting up bridge next. I have a block I'm going to use, so I suggest if you like the block support, just have it nearby, set, heels up, fingertip distance away. And as I'm inhaling, lifting the chest bones away from the pelvis. So kind of stretching, lengthening, opening up that core. Exhale, shift the tailbone toward the sky. The buttock lifts, the spine lifts. And you apply that block support whenever you need it. It is possible to do this series without a block, but most people benefit from having it. Wow. Taking one full deep breath from the pelvis. And this next deep breath, bridging, so from pelvis to heart. So as we start to weave or thread our breath, our awareness through our body, right? You can feel just how all of these flavors of inhabiting our body, all of these flavors of consciousness, when they really spark on. You'll feel if we inhabit the pelvis and the solar plexus and the heart. So planting that right foot down, inhaling, pick the left foot up off the ground. Now I pick the foot up, my shoulders still bear the weight. So I'm not steering with my head. My head and neck are totally relaxed. Exhale, reach that left leg toward the sky. Now, what would that be like to connect, right, the qualities, the activity, the energy of the legs into the head? Can you bridge that connection? What does that feel like when the head and the pelvis are connected in experience? And we'll switch sides. Set the left foot down. just pause here. When you press that left foot down, just one more time, ensure that your shoulders, the backs of your shoulders, are your support structure. There's no need to use the head to grab the ground or steer or press. Okay? And if you need to keep your triceps on the ground for a little extra balance, that's fine, like little buttress. Inhaling, let's pick the right foot off the ground. Exhaling, reach the right leg skyward. We'll just get a little play. What would that be like? How would I do that? How would I enact that? Inhabiting my pelvis and my head simultaneously. And inhaling, let's set that right foot down. Set feet so you feel well supported. Drive. Engaging those legs. Lifting the tip of the tailbone away from the block. We'll take our time to descend out of bridge. So you might want to do this over the course of a couple exhales. Perfect. And then let's turn over onto a side. And we'll set up for you know what, dolphin. We'll do a few different varieties of dolphin today. All right. Elbows under shoulders. Forearms out in front. Inhaling into the back of solar plexus, back of heart. And with toes curled under, exhale the knees off ground. Dolphin. So all of this locational breath work, we breathe and we feel into the heart. We breathe and we feel how that's interconnected to the solar plexus. We breathe and we feel how that might be enriched by our connection to the pelvis. Right? So that we can carry that. This has direct carryover into our everyday life. What would that be like if we were thinking something thoroughly through and we engaged the heart? What would that be like? Thinking with the heart. What would that be like? Running or exercising with our gut, feeling our body. Right, so we're going to move one leg up at a time. Let's start with the left foot. We'll take a few breaths where my left foot anchors down the right heel. Get that little settling down through that back of right leg. Get a little lighter in the shoulders. And then raise that left leg skyward. And we'll switch sides. We'll bring that left foot down. I'm going to use that little heel maneuver where the right foot kind of anchors down through that left heel. And when I do that, I'm feeling if I can lift and lighten through the shoulders. And then raise the right foot off the ground. Inhaling, we'll set right foot down, set knees down. Please rest. When you are in a rest position, whether it's embryo or maybe you're sitting vertically like Cézanne, take a full breath into the heart, lung, and shoulder area. Letting breath penetrate the space of the shoulders, the heart. Often when we sustain these poses, we start to get not only physical artifacts like blood and heat and moving through those arms, but often that's sufficient to drive, to facilitate moving. Our mindfulness, our feeling awareness through those areas. We get yet another sense of what lives around the heart and the shoulders. So we'll slide our hands under our shoulders. And on exhale, let's press back into downward dog. All right, inhaling, step left foot forward, warrior two. And we're working a chest opener by way of interlacing hands behind back. So with feet active, hands interlaced. Inhaling, lift heart away from pelvis. Exhaling, reach the knuckles down. And when I just slightly shift the tailbone down, it just helps me from compressing my low back, that's all. Helps me to not lock down or jam down on the hip sockets. And you can feel that difference. I know we have a few different kind of maybe hip scenarios in our collective today, but you'll feel that difference if you just kind of resting on the joint compared to engaging, working all of that muscular and tissue to suspend you, to suspend the joint. This is a great place. Feeling, does the heart connect to the pelvis? You might have to reach down a little bit, like re-inhabit the pelvis. And when we let go of the hands, do a little reverse warrior variation. So just place the right hand on the right thigh. The variation is left hand will just hover over the left thigh. Okay. So now when I let the head relax to the right, you might want to do this with eyes open at first. Just learning if you can feed breath between the hip and that left side shoulder, left side head. Inhaling, let's draw ourselves up. Right hands to ground on either side of that left foot. Exhaling, chaturanga. Let's lower all the way down. Let's go belly to earth. Reach back through the legs, especially the big toes. And now inhale, belly into the earth. So you feel that little cushion of breath under your low back. And with your hands, pull. Move the back of the solar plexus away from the back of the pelvis. Exhaling, lower down, downward dog. Now, remain in downward dog. Open up your hand and your hand parts. You have a really great broad spreading out of the hand on the ground. And begin to kind of palm and turn. So you're turning your arm bones, bending the elbows as we move into turbo dog. But I begin that turn in the fingertips and in the palms. Use that middle finger too. All right, inhaling, step the right foot forward, warrior two. And so as we get these little instances of heat, of physicality, kind of moving through the body. Now, when we interlace the hands, we reach the knuckles down. Feel what's circulating, what's moving. Feeling that motion, that space, that liveliness around the heart, the shoulders, the arms. Does it feel hot? Does it feel like frustration? Does it feel soothing? Does it feel embracing? So we're just noting our experience as we kind of explore the heart and the shoulders. And we release the hands and do a little variation on reverse warrior. So I'm just going to prop my left hand on my left leg, but reach the right hand, just hover it over the right thigh. A little neck release. And inhaling, help yourself up. Place hands around the right foot. Exhaling, step right foot back. As you lower to the ground, pull shoulders away from the neck. Cobra, reaching back through the big toes. Inhaling into the pelvis. Solar plexus. Pull with those hands. Heart. Exhaling, lower down, downward dog. So we're going to have one of these little transition moments. You're welcome to rest however you like, stand or set the knees down. We'll make a move to a wall if you need one. And we're working either forearm balance or dolphin at the wall. Either way, we're going to love on these arm lines. I'm going to get a little toastier. So, if you have any questions, what are those, how to do those, just give me a little wave. I'm going to work forearm balance with a wall. Let's plan on maybe 6 to 9 breaths in your inversion. Nice. That's it, Andrew. As you're pressing, you'll feel those ribs up by pec. Kind of pressing, feel those pec area ribs lengthening toward, away from the ground. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, going right through the elbows. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Once you got a good 6 or 10 breaths in there, the next place we'll be is standing at the top of mat. So just find our next spot. Chair pose. Inhaling, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhaling, fold forward, relaxing the neck. Feet can be active, pressing through the ground. Monkey, inhale, collar away from lap. Now set the hands down, exhaling, chaturanga. Let's step back. Now, I offer, you can take upward dog, you can take cobra. I'll cue us to upward dog, but I hope you'll amend if your shoulders or your low back need those other variants. Downward dog. Archer Warrior 1. Inhale, right foot forward. And with Archer, you might like a strap. We'll go right elbow up, left elbow down. So again, that's right foot forward, right elbow up. The right arm need not push on the neck or the head. And that way we can align the head over the heart. Just feeling a breath in the center of head. So getting behind the eyeballs, behind that optic nerve. Breathing into the heart. You may have a hand touching the back of the heart, in which case you can aim for it. And just note your experience as you shift from breathing into the head space, breathing into the heart space. The difference might be minute, the difference might be dramatic. Let's release the archer for twisting warrior. Just let the arms kind of hang down for a moment. Inhaling, reach the left arm up, spreading the hand bones. I'm going to begin the twist by turning my hand and my arm. Already, if I just kind of turn my palm backward, I'm already twisting. There's a lot of stuff twisting already. My viscera, I hook that left elbow over the right thigh. So what's that like, breathing into the back of your solar plexus? So I'm going to remain here for interlock, twisting warrior interlock. So if you're sliding the left armpit down further, that would be one kind of way to enter. If you need to set the knee down for more support, that's a possibility. I'm just going to straight away reach my left arm under my thigh, my right hand behind my back. Inhaling, unwind. Set hands down. Exhaling, chaturanga. We'll step right foot back. Inhaling, upward dog, which of course you can make cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling, step left foot forward, archer, and warrior one. This side archer is left elbow, points toward the sky. And I adjust my archer so my head is free. My neck is unpressured. That way I can line up my head over my heart. Let's start there, breathing into the head space. Just, you can notice if there's a little shift for you to enter in, to inhabit the center of the head. For some of us, it may feel like we literally have to pull our attention from out in front of us back inside our and behind our eyeballs. And then feeling into the heart. So using your breath to feel the tone, the qualities of heart. And we may not feel these qualities of love. We may feel coarseness or heaviness or emotionality or a dimness or weight. So be true to your experience. What do you feel when you sense your heart? Okay, let's release. Just let those arms hang down and prep for twisting warrior. Inhale, draw the right arm up. And here I'm going to turn my whole arm like I'm turning my palm to face behind me. And that already starts the turn. Exhaling, hook, right elbow over left thigh. Connect to solar plexus with your breath. Feeling you can attune to that quality of power. Remember, this isn't a power over, this is more that intrinsic, right? The power to express, that agentic power, that power to differentiate. It's just engine, it's horsepower. Horsepower that can be applied to any endeavor. Just feeling the horsepowerness. Okay, twisting. Warrior interlock. If you require more support, you can set the right knee down. Left hand reaches behind back. And the right arm can either go under the thigh, or you can grab some clothing. And release. Inhale, unwind. Hands to ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Well, we need to love on these legs, right? Inhale the right foot forward, lunge. We're going knee up, heel up. If you feel adequately balanced, hands to thigh or hands overhead. The move I'm going to make, this is just a personal little variation. You're welcome to come along for the ride. I'm going to bring my right hand under my skull and the back of my hand, my other hand, on my sacrum. That's just for the sheer pleasure of intoning the connection from pelvis to head. And so breathing and making that connection with breath, with feeling. You might even just pause or take a breath with each of these areas, taking a breath into the pelvis. Kind of feeling the physicality of this pose, the solidness, the substantiality. And breathing into the gut, the solar plexus. How powerful does this feel? Do I feel shaky? Do I feel robust? Do I feel... Breathing into the heart. And the head. You can feel those different flavors in one pose. It's pretty extraordinary. And then let's release, inhaling. Let's set the left knee down. Pad as much as you need to. Heel to butt lunge. I'm going to bring this left heel toward left hip. Release. All right. 2 poses, other side. Inhale, bring hands to ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, lunge, inhale, left foot forward. That means the knee and the heel are off the ground. Hands can be used to help stabilize. Let's just go through those 4 areas, just a breath per area. And just as best as you can notice and feel if the quality of breath, the quality of experience is tinted differently through these different areas of the body. So when we focus and feel for breathing in the pelvis, just know what that's like. Take one deep breath into the solar plexus. One full deep breath into the heart. And the head. And inhaling, let's set the hands down, the right knee down. Patting the right knee is very nice. Heel to butt lunge. Breathing into the head and the heart and the gut and the pelvis. Now, when we release, inhale that right foot down, hands to ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Step the left foot back, pulling the shoulders down away from neck. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, I think we are primed and ready. Set your knees down. It's that monthly time for wheel. So I'll describe how I'll work wheel. There's a lot of variations, so please don't hesitate to flag me and ask me for more detail. I'm going to work my first round at least with a roll. And the way I'll enter is through bridge. Okay. Additionally, if you have a couple of blocks, you can use blocks near a wall, and that can be an advantage to your wrists, your upper back if it's still, feels kind of stiff, or shoulders need some extra injury support. I'm going to take my first round from bridge with a roll. And just as a reminder, wheel is 1, setting the hands beside the ears and shoulders. Okay. 2, is creating a little bit of a press, as in you might just press and get the top of your head to the ground. And you might sustain that for several breaths, or you might be pressing the head off of the ground. Okay. And we'll do 2 rounds of wheel. Let me just find out. Okay, some of you, if you're like totally anti-wheel today, think about like a baby handstand scorpion. That could be a nice, gentler alternative. We can do some stuff with a roll or dancer, so we can create some options. Just let me know if you. Okay. Otherwise, I'll count on us. That will be in 2 rounds of wheel or variation. If you're using the roll, remember that's to help engage the butt and decompress the back. So if you are starting to exit and just whenever you're ready, there's no rush, but we'll use 2 poses as our milding down. So 1, interlock warrior. I've got my right foot forward. Now, for a kind of a soothing variant, you can use your left hand on your left waist, and you can just offer a little nudge. Some people like that little pressure as they breathe into the low back, so that can be a nice move. I'm going to go for the interlock. Because when I do that interlock, I can feel like I'm kind of pulling and manipulating that waist and hip area a little differently. And when we release, pigeon. So we'll set the left knee down and the right shin down. And again, just playing. When you breathe into the pelvis, just note what flavor, tone, or quality of breath shows up there for you. And when you breathe into your pelvis and your mid-back, does one inform the other? And when I feel my pelvis in and with my heart, it might change yet again. And inhaling, let's walk the hands back under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Just those two poses on the other side, starting with interlock warrior. Inhale your left foot forward. Your right hand, if you like having it on the right hip. Some people do this little sacral press that can feel good to some. And unwinding that low back. I'm going to go for interlock. And when we release, pigeon. Right knee down, left shin down. to release, we can just sit back into that left hip. We can help that right leg around. And it's a good time to set up for rest or shavasana. So as you're making your way lying to back, if you need to add any layers, if you need to prop up or do some final pose to as salve for your back, please feel free to do those now. And if we together breathe, feeling the space of the pelvis, and if we can feel such a space, right, we can attune to the quality of liveliness therein. Right? There's a physicality here, just how physical, how material, how substantial do we feel in this body, in this moment? Like feeling the matter, the material part of our being. And the solar plexus, kind of that horsepower. Right? If we got the chassis, can we move that vehicle to action, to art? To me, the solar plexus, as we attune there, there's that immediacy. When I choose to connect to my breath, do I have the power, the immediacy to do it? Right? Without hesitation. Can I make choice without hesitation? Can I create without hesitation? And the heart, that quality of love. And I'm reminded recently just how every lineage expresses love in a unique way. So whatever path, whatever lineage you choose, love will have a different flavor per lineage, per teacher, per teachings. And when we attune to the head, intelligence, Some correlative qualities here. I find qualities like clarity and vastness, mental entanglements or mental freedom. Intelligence also growing those inner and interconnections. The networking ability to cohere and more complexity. To see larger, vaster, wider views of our cosmos, of our planet, of our communities. Seeing the holes and all the parts in those holes. And in these final couple exploration breaths, what does that feel like when you're breathing into all those centers at once? So whenever you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.